Okay, hello guys. This is the second part of the interview with Abueng, an energy healer with Caribbean roots that
Yeah.
lives in Canada.
Mhm.
And so again, welcome to the podcast, the Cocoa and the Sun podcast, and thank you guys for listening. And so now we were going to continue our conversation with intuition, uh,
Yes.
and
And
test.
learning to trust it.
Yes. So that's
Mhm.
where I am. And so like I'm letting it guide me, even like career wise. It's like I'm
Mhm.
now understanding or learning the relationship, how to communicate with my guides, my angels, my team, whatever, divine team, like whatever
Mhm.
you call it.
Yeah, because we
Divine
have it's a
angels.
team. It's not just
So,
one.
right. And like so like trusting that even my own interpretation. So like sometimes with the dreams, I would use like a dream interpreter book. But
Oh, okay.
sometimes I'm like, no, this is like personal to me. Like, so I think this is not in a book or someone else's understanding. I think they're using symbols that are specific to my life experience, trying to tell me something.
Yeah. Like even before I got into spirituality, the whole dream interpretation thing didn't make sense to me. And then after now being in spirituality, it still doesn't make sense to me because, like you said, it's personal,
It's
right?
symbols, yeah.
In different cultures, like even going into for animals, different cultures don't have the same association with different
Correct.
animals, right? So maybe in one culture, the fox is seen as a trickster, and another culture, it's seen as a messenger.
Oh,
In the
clever. Oh,
right,
yeah.
so just a fox, and then if someone, in general, elephants are one of the animals that many people like. But if you live in a village where maybe elephants come through and maybe destroyed fields or maybe stampeded through and destroyed your home, your reaction to an elephant is going to be different because of your personal experience. So, like cultural level, personal level, the dream interpretations when it's like, oh, if you see a butterfly equals this. Well, what if someone has a fear of butterflies? That's not, I'm going to think it's wonderful if I have a dream full of
Right.
butterflies, but that's a nightmare for that person,
Right.
right? But my biggest thing, and then this again goes back to like Abraham Hicks just laid a lot of cornerstones for my understanding of how everything works now. But they were saying the most important thing with dreams is how you feel in them.
Hmm.
That's the most important thing, not whether it was an elephant or a butterfly, or if you were giving a speech and you didn't have notes, or there was a test you didn't study for. It's the feeling in the dream that's giving you the information. Yeah. So I go off of that a lot.
I think so. I think, yeah, I'm more so at this phase, like in the beginning phase when I was learning, I was really listening to other people's, like you were saying, ideas and thoughts and books and what they had learned. And I think right now in the phase I'm in, I want to know what it means for me. So like, they'll say like it's the full moon or it's a new moon and it's this, that, and the other. Um, it's this conjunction with, and it could be true like the astrological things, but I like to listen to it after it actually happens to see like how I experienced it. So I don't put any expectations on it, and I just like observe what I experienced during that time, if I experienced anything at all,
Mhm.
and look back maybe a few weeks and be like, oh yeah, like that kind of aligned and that kind of happened with me in my life and stuff like that. So yeah. And I'm finding too, like when you trust, the flow is a lot um easier.
Yeah. And
It
you'll
comes.
get more messages, you'll get more feelings, right? But this is just how our brains work. Our brains are receiving way more information and data and sensory input than what is being passed on to our conscious minds,
Oh,
right? It has to get filtered because it's too much. And there's actually a medical condition. I always forget the name of it, but for people whose brains aren't filtering, where they're aware of everything all the time, they can't function, right? So, for example, like sitting here, you're not aware of your glasses touching your nose until I mentioned it, right? And you're not aware of like your legs touching the seat you're in. You're not aware of your sleeves touching your arm again until I mentioned it. Your brain is filtering that out because that's not important. If you're getting all of that and every smell and every right, it's you can't function unless those individuals have a really high IQ to like be able to manage all that. Yeah, they can't function. And then even just on a daily basis too. Another example I always think of in university, I had a fashionista friend. So she was very into the fashion, all the different styles and stuff. But I was more interested in other things. So like let's go. Well, I don't think we didn't have the Apple Watch when I was in university, but let's I was in university way before Apple Watches came along.
I took
But
it
let's just
off.
use
It was
let's use
asking me too much. I took it off.
oh wait, the steps. It's like you need to get up and move.
Keep
But
afloat.
let's use like the Apple Watch when it first came out. If I had been walking with that same fashionista friend in university, maybe I would have seen someone 6 meters ahead wearing an Apple Watch, right? I would have noticed them
Mhm.
because I was interested in the Apple Watch. I told my brain through my attention, what I was choosing to pay attention to, the Apple Watches were important to me. My friend wouldn't have noticed the Apple Watch, but she maybe would have noticed, I don't know, Balenciaga. Is that a fashion name? Yeah, Balenciaga purse or the Jimmy Choo shoes. She would see a person with that, and I wouldn't notice that person,
Mhm.
right? But we're seeing, it's not that we didn't see it. She would have seen the Apple Watch and I would have seen the
Filtering different things.
Balenciaga
Yeah.
purse, but my brain knows I don't care about the purse. So it's just not registering. So I notice what I'm interested in. So we're constantly telling our brains what's important and what information shouldn't be filtered out as just background noise. So when you start paying attention to your intuition, and however it's coming through, whether you get a feeling or you get a clear knowing or you get a visual, however you receive the information, when you start paying attention to it and not dismissing it or saying, oh, that's nothing, then your brain goes, oh, you're interested in that now. Oh, okay. And then it's going to start putting through more of that. We're all getting that. It's all there, but our brains are filtering it out.
Yes. I want to get my communications like better and better with my team, so I can just enjoy life more and trust.
Yeah, and the best way to do that is just to keep like to connect. Just try to connect and ask questions.
Okay.
Asking is the key. When we ask, there's going to be an answer, right? Question, answer. This goes together, right? It's you can't have a question without an answer. Every question has an answer, but there. So the more we connect, more we reach out. And then one tip I got a few years back is also be specific too in what your question. The more clear you are on your question, then it was like specific and clear. But when you, instead of just asking, you can just ask, like for example, like if you're doing something like oracle cards or something like that, you can ask like, oh, what would be a good thing for me to know right now, or what's a topic I can focus on for today. So you can get like have a general question like that. But when you're wondering about something or you want to know more about something, asking a specific question and not just, hey, what do you guys want to tell me today? That's general. That can be okay in certain
Yeah.
situations, but when you are more specific and even asking specific guides as well, that can be really helpful as well. Because then you also start to feel the difference. Because sometimes people will ask me, "Well, how do you know it was, this angel?" And or this time it was, this being. And it's like, okay, well, I don't know. They just feel different. They just are
In
different,
no way.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Energy,
Yeah, but it's
the
mhm,
energy is different. But I can only feel
yeah.
that certainty, the confidence in it in the dreams. Like I do, like I have all of these clairs in my dreams. So I have clear audience in my dreams. Like this morning, I woke up right before I wake up. The song they gave me was, that Beatles song, Ola Dee, Ola Da. That what is it? Um, I wrote down the words one second. Also, I wanted to see, like, I don't know if you could see this. Oh no, the light.
I can a little bit, but if they're words, I can't read it. I'm just kind of
It's
seeing.
just like a flower in the back, just like your
Oh, okay. I'm seeing it a bit better. Is it like a lotus
yeah,
with a light? Okay.
yeah, a star and a lotus.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so they'll give me a song, but it's right
Mm-hmm.
before I wake up, or I'll get what I do get when I'm up is thoughts. Like I'll get an understanding. Like if I'm up
Mm-hmm.
in my sleep, I could identify like sometimes like the being like if it's Jesus, I'll know that that's who was talking to me. It's not very often.
Right.
Not very often he visits, but
Mm-hmm.
he does visit. I know that it's nobody else. So if it's the Virgin Mary, and I'm not Catholic, so these beings in the sleep that I get the visits from, I just know it's them on an energy level, but there's no way for me to explain to you what he looked like, or what she looked like, or
Mm-hmm.
specifics like that. But yeah, in my sleep I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I get the smell. I can smell in my sleep.
Mm-hmm.
The sound. But when I'm up, mostly it's like thoughts or ideas, and it's mostly like if I in my quiet time, if I'm doing something that doesn't require thought, and something will just come. So
Yeah, when your pond is still, then
yeah,
you'll
but
get the
why
clear
can't
knowing.
I do that in my uptime? Like,
But you can. You can, but just practice. It's just a question of practice. And then the more we practice, the more we try to do it, the more we you're just turning up the volume on that station. You're telling your brain that's important, and then it's going to get uh turned up, right? But you can do it. It's not that it's impossible. Like maybe right now it's not coming through clearing, but the way to get confident is just to keep on
trying.
asking,
And
right?
probably too more healing. I probably have to heal other aspects still before.
Yeah, yeah, maybe looking within, seeing what beliefs need to be shed. But I would say, like right now, the number one thing that you could shed is thinking, why can't I do that when I'm awake? That's
Yes,
probably
I want
that thought.
to.
Yeah, but that thought, okay, so, and then going back to what Abraham Hicks said about it's not a question of whether something is true or not, it's whether it's serving you. So, does the thought of why can't I do that when I'm awake, even if you haven't been able to do that when you're awake up until now, is that serving you in the future? No, so just stop thinking that thought. It's not a question of whether it's true or not. Is it whether it's serving you and where you want to move to? Just let go of that. And just little things like that, when you start seeing how easy it is to change, like how your experience is, your physical experience is, the conversations you have with people, the
Mhm.
way you interact with people, the type of people you run into
Oh,
shifts
that's the
when you shift your internal thoughts, when you let go of belief or open yourself to a possibility and you see things shifting in your real life, then that will be like that's like positive validation, right? For whoa, this intuition thing, this is something, or oh, look, I just changed. That was a belief I was looking at over the weekend, and now look at how my
skill.
interaction with this coworker that I was having problems with is totally different now on Monday. It's because I did my inner work,
Mhm.
right? It's not about the other person. I did my inner work. What opportunities are there with this challenging situation? What opportunities are there for me? Let go of thinking that person's difficult, that person's inconsiderate, that person. Is it true? Maybe. what is it serving me? No. And then it's not because then people be like, oh, well, you can't let people keep, being mean to you or abusing you. Well, no, but whether someone's going to be mean to me or not, that's their choice. My choice is going to be, am I going to continue to interact with you? I don't have any power over how you're choosing to interact, but why, am I going to keep interacting with you? And also, too, am I making the choice that I'm going to try and force the other person to do
conform to
something
what
that
I
I
want. Yeah.
like? Exactly. Even if 99% of people would agree that the other person is rude.
Hmm.
Okay,
They
they're
still
choosing to
has
be
the point
rude.
of
Yeah,
being to be rude. Yeah, it's just how we
exactly.
choose to interact. Yeah.
Yeah, so I get information where I'm like, okay, I know that person's rude, so why am I continuing to try to talk to them? Why, when I know they're on a particularly challenging day for them, would I still go and talk to them and then try and convince them that they're being rude and no, I'm not being sensitive and have that whole unpleasant interaction or work around it? And then people might say, oh, well, some people you have to talk to them. Yeah, but I've had so many experiences now where once I looked at why I was having the reaction to them, like why that person was rude. Okay, why am I upset? Why am I upset? I'm not upset that they're wearing the color blue. I'm not, I'm not, right? And the meaning I've attached to it, it's like, well, if they're rude to me, it's because they don't respect me. If they don't respect me, then this is going to happen or this won't happen. And we've attached a lot of meaning over someone being rude. And then whether someone is rude or not, that's subjective. That's not an absolute, right? But when we attach all these meanings to things and then we're reacting to the meaning, and then that goes back to us giving importance to every single thought that crosses our mind and building out from that, right? It all just circles back to
Yeah.
that. But what meaning are you putting on it? How much importance are you giving to that thought? And yeah, some people maybe it's like, okay, for me, that was a rude interaction. All right, maybe I won't interact with that person
Yeah.
as much, right? Or I'll wait for certain times, or I don't even have to plan it. I'll know, going back to intuition, if it's a coworker you have to talk to, I know I'll set the tone for what kind of interactions I want to have. Oh, I need to get this piece of information from him. And my intuition then will guide me, be like, hey, now's a good time to go approach them.
Hmm.
Not with any other information of, oh, he's in a good mood or oh, he just got good just got good news or any of that. But your intuition will line you up with them when you will have
A good
the
interact.
kind of interaction you want to have and then you move out. Whereas if so, when I'm focused on the kind of interaction I want to have and setting that tone, then that is lining me up with opportunities and circumstances and conversations that are matching that.
Right.
Whereas if I keep thinking that guy was so rude yesterday, and you know what, he was rude last week too, and you know what, last month my channel is rude.
Hmm.
Right? That's what you're focusing on. Not I don't like rude people. If you're thinking I don't like rude people, you're thinking of rude people and your energy is rude people and that's what you're going to meet up more with. You're just setting your tone. So when you start deliberately setting your tone, right? And as opposed to letting whoever you come across during your day set your tone, right? You set it, then that just affects your day. You choose your belief. I haven't done this thing in the past, but I think I want to do it in the future. Okay. So I can do this. And you just shift it as opposed to saying, because when we do say I can't do something, that is completely past based. It's basically I haven't done it or
I
I
haven't
haven't been
done it.
able to
I haven't
I
found it.
haven't been able
I
to do it
haven't
up
found
till
the
this
sweet
point.
spot. Yeah.
But then we'll change that to I can't. And now you've made it this permanent,
Yes.
absolute thing as opposed to I haven't been there. I haven't done it. I haven't, yet. Right.
Yeah.
If you just throw on the word yet, that changes it. But all these just subtle shifts in thoughts as opposed to focusing. on things I think I can't do to saying, okay, I haven't done it yet,
Mhm.
or the interactions you want to have instead of focusing on someone who's super inconsiderate. Just be like, yeah, I really like interacting with considerate people who are kind of aware of the people around them. And that's how I'm going through my day. It's nice when you encounter someone like that. Now I've set my frequency to that as opposed to inconsiderate people. And then you're behind someone who doesn't hold the door open for you, or all those little things, and then up until bigger things, right? It'll just keep getting bigger the more attention you focus on, put on it.
Yeah. 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 So like I a lot of beliefs have been coming up for me, like core beliefs that needed or need rewiring. Um,
Mhm.
that I didn't recognize before. Like I knew once it came, I was like, yeah, I do think like this. But I hadn't been able to identify it yet. So I think they're in the process of bringing those things up. So like the other day, I understood that I have a fear of doing well and being, of others knowing I'm doing well and being targeted for doing well. And that could have come from
Mhm.
past experience where I was doing well and people, dismissed it or made fun of it or treated me badly
Tore
because
you down in some way.
right. It could be experience based, but it doesn't have to be a core belief. It could have been that that just happened with that person because where they were, it doesn't mean that that's going to happen every time. So that was, they're working with me with that. They're working with me with, I think things are going to be good for a little bit of time, but I don't think it's going to be consistently good. Like I always think it's going to go south at some point, you know. So that's been working with me.
Mhm.
And then so my dog died last October, Halloween, and I had him for 15 years. I was really like I love animals, like really like but he was like my best friend because I don't have like many friends. So he's always been with me and whatever. So I said, no, not another dog, not another dog, not again. Because if I can't pay for his vet care or I can't make sure he's okay, if he needs major surgery and they're saying he needs $10,000 to have the surgery and I can't do it, like I don't want to ever be in that position again. Like I don't want to ever have another dog. And then last night, in the dream, it came true. Like this is an issue for me. Um,
Mhm.
and I understood that I could actually, like you were saying, set the frequency that I'll never be in that position again. That if I do have a dog, that I would be
Mhm.
able to have a good vet that I trust, and I'll be able to provide the care that the dog needs. Like I don't need to resonate at that. I'm not going to
What
have.
you don't want.
So, um,
Yeah, I had the same arc, and I'm still in it with my cat. I had two cats before, but the last cat he died at the end of 2022, and it was the same thing because he was sick at the end. But I was able to pay for the shots, but I had that whole thing as well. It's like, well, I don't want to be in the position. I want it to be that if he needs some kind of
I can.
medication or surgery, I can pay for it. There's no thought about it. There's no, I can just do it. Because because my thing is they're animal companions. If I decide to have a companion, then I'm completely responsible for them. But yeah, that whole arc you were describing, that's completely what I was doing with my for my cats. Yeah.
Yeah, so they only cleared that for me today, and that was since October. So I'm thinking they're getting me ready for another pet, but I'm like, no, I'm not ready
Yeah.
yet. I'm not ready yet. No, no. But yeah, so it has been more frequently. I do get understandings about core beliefs I have that are affecting my external reality that I am, like it's resonating at. Like that's where my frequency is. But it's not
Hmm.
been this for the past 2 weeks. It's been coming in, more like awareness to what I believe in my heart and how to like untangle these knots so I can have more flow. Somebody said it was like being water, right? But you're frozen water and now you're melting so you can flow more. Like there's different states to you. More I don't know. I thought it was really cool. Like analogy.
Yeah. No, I have an understanding about like so we have our energy fields. And the more supple our energy field is, the more those higher frequencies, the more easily the higher frequencies can come through and make those beautiful patterns.
Yes.
When we have rigidity in our energy field, so you used frozen water, right? But I think of in rigidity, that's parts of our field which are frozen or like heavier and not as supple. So when that the beautiful high frequencies come through, they're not making the full pattern
Yes.
because this section isn't moving and doing this what it's supposed to do. Well, not what it's supposed to do, but what it could be doing,
Mhm.
right? So the one understanding I got really early on years ago that really helped because I was like, well, how am I supposed to know? Like, because your beliefs that are limiting you, they always make it seem like you have to believe me, right? That's another thing I learned from that spirituality teacher, Bashar. The way he talks about beliefs is like they're their own, like almost like they're their own entity, but they want you to keep believing them and feeding and giving them energy. But yeah, everyone's beliefs are reasonable. They always seem reasonable. Uh, but limiting beliefs, the way, because I got to this point, it was like, well, how am I supposed to know which ones are limiting and which ones and which ones are helpful,
Mhm.
right? Because I was just like, well, that seems like it's not even, because some things they seem like they're not even a belief. Like you have no choice but to think that,
Mhm.
right? Um, but then I understood that if you sit with it, just put your attention on it. You're not analyzing it. You're not dissecting it. No, nothing's going on, but you just sit with the idea as if you're just holding a blossom in your hand and just let the energy of your awareness and consciousness fall on it. Limiting beliefs start to fall apart. They
Mhm.
start unraveling. They
Okay.
start, you start to see the holes in the so-called logic, right? And beliefs that are nourishing, that are serving you, that are expansive, they just get more. They just become more. They fill in more,
Mhm.
right? And then that's something all of us can do by ourselves when a belief comes up and maybe you don't like it, but you don't see any way around it. And it's like, well, that's just true. I have no choice but to believe that. Then okay, now it's like, all right, I'll just sit with it, just hold my attention on it
Mhm.
and then see what happens. Does it start unraveling or does it expand? That's one
Yes,
a
it does.
simple way to see because the limiting beliefs seem perfectly logical to the person who believes it. Like, look how many people think, for example, slots like, all men cheat, all women cheat. Okay, on the surface, that's obviously ridiculous, right? But there are people who are holding that because they've had two, three, four, five
Experience.
partners who, yeah, they've had those experiences and then sometimes you don't even realize you're holding
That's the
some
thing.
of them, right?
That's it's so deeply embedded and interwoven that I'm not aware that
Hmm.
I'm functioning from that level. And so until they bring it to my attention, and those I get those during the day, like I'll just get a understanding you think this way, and it's blocking what you want to come in. Um, yeah, it's not, I wasn't, so I've had those beliefs for years and had no clue I was functioning from that level. Like I wasn't able to single it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. Me too. And then it's like, well, how? And it's like, and we're trying, right? This is compared to me 20 year, like my 20-year-old self, if I go back like 25 years, who was completely unaware of, I wasn't thinking like this at all as far as beliefs, right? And it's like, well, how, for all the people who aren't trying, who aren't aware of energy and how beliefs are weaving their reality, how are they, like, what are you supposed to do? But that's actually, at first I felt discouraged, but now I'm just like, okay, there's multiple layers. And we're also clearing beliefs that didn't start in our lifetime now. We're clearing things that we've picked up from our current society and families, but we also have things we've inherited in our cells, in our DNA, things that have come down from the ancestors, and we're carrying that energy, and now it's manifesting in our lives in a way that makes sense in this modern world, but it's something from a great, great, great auntie that had to flee a flood, right? And now maybe you have a fear of water and you don't know why. Nothing happened to you in this life, right? And then like that's one of my things. I'm not afraid of water necessarily, but if I go somewhere in deep water and look straight down and it's just going into pitch blackness, then like part of my brain just switches off and it's just like a fear response, right? And I was like, why? So one day I sat with that and then I did come up with past, no, not past life, parallel lives, because time is not linear. Everything is now, my understanding, my belief. Um, but I saw clearly that that person had, for a trial, she had to try and swim through deep water and she couldn't do it, and she tried multiple times and then she wasn't able to accomplish her goal, and then she just ended up with this whole thing around deep water, and then I could see how that just kept going through the generations and now was showing up with me. Right. But so it's not that, people think, oh, if you talk about limiting beliefs, it's like blaming the person, or it's not that you are making a mistake or anything like that. Like there's so many different places that we pick up energy from. And some of it is conscious beliefs we're making in this lifetime. Some of it is society, cultural beliefs. Some of it is energies from the human collective consciousness that you chose to work on your way in, like a theme you wanted to experience in this life. And some of it is coming in through your cells. And then you get into the whole astrology thing, like you were talking about, how the planets are influencing you, right? So it's a lot that's coming in. It's not, there's no blame or anything. It's just your particular blend of energy frequencies, they're manifesting in your life, and your life is just like the outpicturing of what you're holding inside of you. But it has helped me, seeing it's like, oh my gosh, I thought I dealt with this belief, here it is again, okay, fine.
Yeah.
But it has helped me have more compassion. Yeah, it's like it's an onion. It's not that you're done, it's like next layer, right? So now, and it's like, oh, I thought I dealt with this, but now this is like a bigger example of the same belief. Like I said, I wanted to be non-judgmental. I said that. And then once I said that, I started meeting people who were super easy to judge, right? Doing things that like 99% of people would agree were inconsiderate, mean, bullying, right? It's super easy to judge. It's like, okay, anyone can think they're non-judgmental if they live alone in the woods surrounded by
Right.
squirrels. It's super
Absolutely.
easy to be, right?
I pride
But
myself on being non-judgmental, and in my dreams, they will show me you
mhm,
judge this person and you judge that person. They'll have somebody say to me, "You're so judgmental." In the dream, they'll tell
is a dream. Well, that's
me,
cool. That's one way, right? And then
"You're
that goes back to what we were talking about before, where in the moment when you're dealing with someone who's really easy to judge, it's a challenging situation. You're like, oh my gosh, how did I line up with that? Blah, blah, blah. But big picture, hey, that's what you said you wanted. You said you wanted to become non-judgmental. So we're showing you, right? Um, but yeah, it's just an ongoing process, and it certainly helped me be a lot more compassionate with myself and a lot more compassionate with other people, especially people who maybe don't have this kind of awareness of energy and beliefs and how they're shaping things. And then they're reacting in ways that they don't even understand. And it's like, yeah, well, if you're not sitting and doing the inner work, or having quiet moments, listening to intuition, listening to your guides, yeah, it's super confusing because that's how I was living for the first 22, 23 years of my life. That's what I was doing, and everything's very confusing then, and people seem irrational and things seem erratic, and but when you start to see it more with the big picture, then yeah, it makes sense. And then I also have compassion for the people and for myself, because then I'm not saying like,
yeah,
I've reached enlightenment and I'm perfect. I got a whole bunch of stuff. I've got a whole list of things, but also just being okay with
where
this is
I
where
am."
I'm at now, and also taking the time to pat myself on the back and appreciate how far I've come with certain things. When something comes up and I have no reaction to it, and I'll be like, hey, that happened this morning. That would have made me so mad a year ago. I would have been mad for the rest of the day, or I would have been hurt. And now I was just like, oh, they must be angry. and then nothing. And I just don't even think about it anymore. But I'm no longer internalizing other people's anger.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, that's true. I am in process that way too. So I only have 4 more minutes in this meeting. They really want me
Okay.
to pay for this Zoom. I will pay for the Zoom when I have
Hmm.
more guests.
Yeah.
But so I will pay for it. Or maybe I'm supposed to pay for it and more guests will come. They do tricks
Hmm.
like this, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am
So,
blocking it because I'm not putting the faith step forward. Like I want to see
mhm.
the external first, match it.
Yeah, that's one part where people get stuck, right? But it doesn't always have to be a huge leap of faith too that feels super scary. You just start off with like little signs, right? But your guides are going to communicate with you and they're going to have as much of a gap that they know that you can handle. So some people will literally take a leap of faith. My guides are like, yeah, she doesn't work like that when it comes to me. So it was like little incremental things
And I can,
or you know,
and I can connect.
finding things in
Yes.
a big department store where I was like, okay, where are the socks? And I wouldn't try and reason with my logical mind about where the socks would be. I just ask and then feel it and then follow. And then even while my logical mind is like, oh, but the clothes are over there. Why would socks be over here? And then I find the socks and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
right? So just little things where that for me there was no downside or like picking a meal in a restaurant off a menu just based on intuition. Don't read the description. I did little things like that, and then now I've built up to making bigger decisions that I'm comfortable with. So there, it's not going to be that you have to decide, like a life and death situation, unless for some people, that's what they want. That's what gives them the feeling of confidence. So then for those people, they will have those situations, but that's not how I work. So I'm super cautious. I'm not a daredevil.
I think they're nudging me to pay for this Zoom, so I will pay for it today. But yes, so
Hmm.
we only have 2 more minutes, so I guess we'll end it there today. But I would love for you to come back if you feel aligned to and it's joyful for you too. And if not, that's okay too. But I really
Hmm.
enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, I really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you so much for inviting me on, Malika.
And so I'll post it by Friday, I think, because I'm off today, but then I work tomorrow and I'm off Friday. So I'll post it by
Mhm.
Friday, if not today. And hopefully it reaches who it needs to reach and brings,
Yeah.
more clarity or understanding in their own journey. And hopefully there's some gems in there that can, help bring them peace and love and harmony some way to their lives. But I really enjoyed this conversation. I'm glad.
Yeah, me too. This was such a nice chat. And yeah, I would love to come back on and chat some more. But yeah, this is I love talking about this stuff and this understanding and the perspectives and yeah. So
Great.
thank you very much.
Thank you. And I hope you have a great week and all that you want for yourself comes into.
Thank you very much. And same to you. Have a beautiful day and a beautiful rest of the week.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.